how did you go from that point of like doing it for self discovery and for bettering yourself, and even before that for fun, and like where did you bridge over to like, no, I want to like go do this kind of acclaimed thing, you know? Was there a moment, or did that just kind of fit into like, hey, if I'm going to get really good at this, that's the next way to challenge myself?
I guess I would say I do remember looking in the mirror and seeing my cauliflower ears.
Yeah.
And like, one year I got staph infection, like in my cheek, man.
Oh, no way.
And I really remember being like, is this worth it? Like, I'm kind of disfiguring my body a little bit. Like, is this worth it?
Yeah.
And I had a heart to heart with myself in the mirror, and I decided, yeah, this is worth it. I'll seek after it. And of course, I have a long backstory in martial arts. My dad owned a martial arts school when I was young, and I remember training, like running around the block, training when I was a kid with my dad.
Dang, dude.
I also remember as a young boy, I must have been, 7 or 8 years old, me wanting a punching bag, and like they weren't readily available. It wasn't like people had punching bags in the store like nowadays.
Sure.
I remember us sawing and chipping wood to fill in this military bag and hanging on a tree so that I can learn to punch and fight this bag. And then I remember he would have the neighborhood kids come over, and I would box the neighborhood kids.
No way, dude.
Absolutely,
that's awesome.
yeah.
So that really all started with your dad then. And
Yeah.
I mean, even more significant when you passed away. Was that like something that played into you wanting to do jiu-jitsu specifically and get into that?
No, not really.
Huh.
I guess really what I really believe is just if you whatever it is that you're doing, if you do your best at it, if you have pride in what you're doing and pride in what you represent and pride in who you are,
Yeah.
that the results will come. Right? You don't have to be focused on the end result. Like just have pride in what you're doing.
Yeah.
And the results will naturally come.
It's like it's inevitable.
It's like it's inevitable.
It's like
Yeah.
Abu Dhabi becomes like, oh, it's inevitable that if I am at the level where I'm trying to be for my own self-mastery, then I should be able to win this tournament,
Yes.
right? Is that where that fits in, kind of?
Yeah, kind of. I guess jiu-jitsu is a little long ago, so I do remember my thoughts. But like the way I would relate that to is like
it's a long time to dig back to.
Yeah. But right off the top of my head, what comes to mind is like people often ask me like, how do you get into stunts or how do you get into acting? Like what's the door? Like what's the door? There's some secret rule or some secret society or some way to get in, right? But my answer to this day is you show up on time. You do what you say you're going to do. And you listen.
Yep.
That's it. You don't got to do anything special.
That's amazing.
Like, dude, just do the basics, and we spend a lot of time with people on set. The last thing somebody wants to do is spend time with somebody that they don't trust.
Yeah.
That they don't think can show up on time. Right? Like, just do the basics and do what you say you're going to do. And I don't care what your career is. I don't care if it's washing cars, working at McDonald's. You're going to move up the ladder, man.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Did you know the CEO of Frito-Lay used to be, I think he's overall of Frito-Lay now. He used to be a janitor at Frito-Lay.
I think you were telling me this.
CEO.
Yeah. See?
Which is cool. Like that idea, right? You do everything with excellence and the opportunities will like present themselves to you almost.
Yeah.
That's like, who's the guy you were coaching that connected you to the Lone Survivor set? Or to acting?
Oh, this guy named Khalik.
Khalik, yeah. So like, you coaching Khalik with excellence, even though you didn't know, but that's how you live your life, and then that leads to an opportunity and opening a door, and then you do that well, and then that leads to another one, and you're personable with Peter Berg and Mark Wahlberg, and then that leads to them putting you on the bigger stunt team, and then like. Now here you are.
Yeah, you got to plant seeds, right? Like you got to plant that seed, and that seed could be in another person. Seed could be in your children. Seed could be in your thoughts and your imagination.
Yeah.
As thinking of a house or thinking of a building or thinking of a career. For me, I just thought, man, that's just like, I don't even need to think that far. Like, I believe in doing the best you can and the right things will happen.
I love it.
And
I think as a general rule, if people just follow that, like, then good things will happen to them. What's funny to me though is like how quickly people want to like skip over all of that stuff. They're like, no, just tell me how to make $1 million.
Right.
It's like, how about you get really good at your current role where your probably limit of capacity is like around $50,000 to $80,000, and you just do that perfectly.
Yeah.
And then watch what happens the next year, and then the next year, and then all of a sudden you have it. Yeah, no, I want to do that like right now. It's like, it takes Jim Rohn used to say this thing that I love. He says goals are meant to inspire you to become the type of person that it takes to achieve them.
Wow. Yeah, that's great.
So like, it's not about the attainment of the goal, it's about becoming the type of person who can attain the goal, you know?
Absolutely.
It's not about making $1 million, it's about becoming the type of person who can. It's not about like wishing that you could be a good dad right away. It's about doing the things that it takes to be a good dad and becoming a good dad, if that makes sense.
Absolutely.